Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. Well, welcome to week 11, the Premier League predictions. So, let's have a look at the fixtures. Clearly here, the times are +1, so these are European times. So, if we start off on Saturday, it will be a 12:30 kickoff in the UK, and that is AFC Bournemouth versus Manchester United. Then we've got a whole raft of 3 o'clock kickoffs, and that is Arsenal versus Wolves, Aston Villa versus Liverpool, Brighton versus Norwich, Manchester City kicking off at 3 p.m. at home to Southampton again. We've got Sheffield United versus Burnley and West Ham versus Newcastle. In the late game, which will be a 17:30 kickoff in the UK, is Watford versus Chelsea. Moving through to Sunday, we've got a 2 o'clock UK time kickoff. That is Crystal Palace versus Leicester. And then again at 16:30, we have Everton at home taking on Spurs. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our predictions. And once again, we've got Kiam, we've got Ryan, and we've got Martin, who are going to give you their score predictions. And then what I'll do is I'll come back at the end. I will give you my score predictions and also give you the updated table from last week. So anyway, I'll hand you over to the first one. That is Kiam.
Hi Andy, thanks for having me on again. Here are my predictions for game week 11 in the Premier League. So I'm going to go for Bournemouth 1, Manchester United 2. I think United are going to continue their little mini revival and they will beat Bournemouth, but it's going to be a tight game. I'm going for Arsenal 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. So I think Arsenal might drop points there. I think Wolves are going to be quite a tough opponent away from home. We saw it at the Etihad. I think Arsenal are flapping a little bit at the moment. You know what they're like. And I think the crowd will get on the back. And I think it'll end up in a draw. I'm going to go for Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 2. So unfortunately, I think Liverpool will beat Aston Villa comfortably. I think they'll probably get an early goal. Then Villa will push late on. And Liverpool will probably nick one late on in the game. It might be a nice, comfortable VAR decision for them just to help them over the line. Going to move on to Brighton versus Norwich. So I've gone for Brighton 3, Norwich 1. So I think Norwich's bubble has well and truly burst after beating City. I think Brighton will be too strong at home and they'll win that one pretty comfortably. I've gone for Manchester City 5, Southampton 0. So I think we're going to see, obviously, the likes of KDB back in the team. We'll see a more settled lineup to the one we saw in the Carabao Cup in midweek. And let's be honest, even the change team in the Carabao Cup was pretty comfortable in midweek. I know Southampton have made changes as well. But I think City are going to be too strong. I think they'll get early goals and then Southampton will be hanging on for dear life. We then move on to Sheffield United versus Burnley. So I've gone for 1-0 Burnley away win. I think Sheffield United struggle to score goals. They are pretty good defensively, but Burnley are the type of team that I think Sheffield will struggle against. I think Burnley are quite a physical team. I think they will stay with Sheffield throughout the game, and then I think Burnley will have the quality there just to nick a goal and take all 3 points. And then looking at West Ham United versus Newcastle United, and I've gone for a West Ham 2, Newcastle 1. So I think West Ham will just have enough on their own ground to overcome Newcastle. Newcastle will put up a fight, but West Ham will just have enough there with the home crowd behind them. I've gone for Watford 1, Chelsea 3. So Chelsea on a good run of form. Frank Lampard has the team playing pretty well at the moment. They seem to be quite settled, even though they've had to bring in a few youngsters. They seem to have all bedded in, and I think Chelsea will win that comfortably. Obviously, Watford have had a terrible season so far, and I think it's going to continue this weekend. And then we look at Crystal Palace against Leicester. Now, this one is a slightly controversial result. You might think I'm crazy after Leicester won 9-0 in their last fixture, but I'm actually going to go for a Crystal Palace win. I'm going to go Crystal Palace 2, Leicester City 1. And I think it might be a after the Lord Mayor's parade type thing for Leicester. I think they're going to be relaxed. They're going to be celebrating the fact that they won 9-0. And I think Crystal Palace at home, they can be a difficult opponent. And I've got a feeling they might just turn Leicester over. So let's see. And then the final fixture there for me is Everton against Tottenham. I've gone for Everton 1, Tottenham Hotspur 3. I think Tottenham are now showing signs that they're starting to come back. A lot of the players are fit again. I think at Anfield they play pretty well. I know Liverpool had a lot of play, but on the break Tottenham looked really dangerous. They seem to have that combination working again with Son and Kane, and I think Everton will find them a little bit too much to handle. So those are my predictions for game week 11, Andy. Good luck to everybody else with their match predictions. Hope you enjoy the weekend's games.
Okay, thanks for that, Kiam. Now, who's up next? We've got Ryan Corrie. So Ryan looks after the Discord Predictions League. So let's see what he predicts for this weekend's Week 11 results.
Hello guys, it is Ryan here with my Premier League predictions for match day 11. So I have gone Bournemouth 2, Manchester United 1, Arsenal 1, Wolves 0, Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 3, Brighton 3, Norwich 0, Man City 4, Southampton 1, Sheffield United 1, Burnley 0, West Ham 2, Newcastle 1, Watford 1, Chelsea 2, Crystal Palace 1, Leicester 3, and Everton 2, Tottenham 0. So I'll start with City. I think we won last night. This should be a formality, really. Can't see them putting up much of a fight against us. Bournemouth, I've gone to beat United. United away from home aren't great. Bournemouth having 2 0-0 draws in the last 2 game weeks, but I think that they still have the firepower and they can definitely beat United. Arsenal have gone to beat Wolves. That could go either way after what happened last weekend with Granit Xhaka, and that's a mess. But I've given it to Arsenal based on the fact they're at home. I think they can probably just about edge it. Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 3 should be a formality like last weekend for us. Brighton 3, Norwich 0. Norwich away from home, useless. Brighton seem to be going into a bit of a purple patch, so I think they can win that. Obviously, they turned it around against Everton last weekend. That was a good result for them. Sheffield United beating Burnley. Was going to go 0-0 for this, or 1-1, but based on the fact Sheffield are at home, I'm going to give them the win, 1-0. West Ham winning 2-1 against Newcastle. I've gone with that based on the fact that it's going to be a tight game, could go either way. West Ham are very topsy-turvy. They had a poor result last week, not beating Sheffield United, so they can have a positive result this weekend because that seems to be how they work. Watford losing to Chelsea should be a formality, really. Watford still a mess. Chelsea are doing pretty well, so I mean that's a nice easy win for them. Crystal Palace, Leicester. I've gone with Leicester. Leicester are they're so good this season, once again. And Crystal Palace, I think, can easily nick a goal, probably a Milivojevic penalty. But they don't have enough to beat Leicester, I don't think. And then Everton to beat Tottenham. Tottenham's still a mess. The Red Star game papered over some cracks, but hasn't really done anything in the long term, I don't think. And Everton are at home instead of being away from home, so I think that will help a lot. Yep, so that's my predictions for this weekend. Make sure you get yours in the Discord PL Predictions channel. So back to Andy.
Thanks, Ryan. Don't forget, guys, if you can still join the Discord League, so go over on Discord at Man City Fan TV. Now, moving on to one of our presenters, and that is Martin.
Hi everybody, Martin here with my predictions again for the Premier League this weekend. So I'm going to start with the Bournemouth Man United game. So I'm going to go for a Bournemouth 2, Manchester United 1, home win. Ryan Corrie will be happy now because I've gone for a Bournemouth win. But I've just got a sneaky feeling that United's upturn will come to an end again this weekend, and they will go back to being typical Man United in not win. But I do think Bournemouth, I think they're due a win this week, so I've gone for a 2-1 game, 2-1 win for them. Next one, I've gone for an entertaining game. Arsenal against Wolves at the Emirates. I've gone for a 2-2 draw. Wolves just seem to be the comeback specialists at the moment. Seem to go behind, but be able to come back and either get a draw or the nick a win. But I've gone for a 2-2 simply because Arsenal are great up top, but they're awful at the back. Like I've always said, BMW up front, Robert Reliant at the back. So I do think they'll score 2, but I think they'll concede 2. So nice entertaining game there. Next one, Aston Villa against Liverpool. Tricky one this for me. But I've gone for an Aston Villa defeat, unfortunately, especially for us Blues. Gone for Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 2. Hoping. I think that's more with my head than my heart. I can see Liverpool probably nicking this. Probably get an 89th minute penalty given to him by VAR, but you never know. But yeah, I've gone for a 2-1 Liverpool win. Next one, Brighton at home to Norwich. I've gone for a Brighton 2-1 win. Got to go for a Brighton win. I do love the Graham Potter football. But yeah, 2-1 to Brighton. I just think Norwich, like I said last week, they've fallen off a cliff, and they've got one of the worst, if not the worst, away record in the league. So comfortable 2-1 win for Brighton. City against Southampton. I've gone for a 4-1 win. I've said 4-1. I said the same at the weekend, but on Tuesday night. But after watching them Tuesday, I don't see anything that will bother us. I think it'll be a comfortable 4-1, but I think we'll always concede that goal at the moment because we're struggling with clean sheets. But yeah, comfortable 4-1. Sheffield United, Burnley. Gone for a Sheffield United home defeat here. Even though, they're doing well, proving me wrong at the moment, but just fancy Burnley to react after that battering by Chelsea at Turf Moor last week. I just fancy Burnley to bounce back with a 2-1 win. Kind of a derby game, but yeah, 2-1 win. I think it's, Yorkshire against Lancashire there, but yeah, Burnley will win 2-1. West Ham Newcastle down at the Olympic Stadium. I've gone for a 2-1 home win for West Ham. I think West Ham have got to try and win Pellegrini. I think he's desperate for a win at the moment, so I think he'll get it. It'll be a close game, but I think he'll get it this week against Steve Bruce's Toon Army. 2-1 win. Watford then at home to Chelsea. I do. Chelsea are another team proving me wrong at the minute with these youngsters. Chelsea are absolutely flying at the moment, and they're very discreetly and very quietly doing the business in the league. They're, they're only a point or two behind us. Really are doing well. Frank Lampard's young kids, but I can just say Chelsea comfortable 3-1 winners here at Vicarage Road, local derby. Next one, Crystal Palace, Leicester City. Leicester are flying. Again, another team up there with us, point behind us, and I see a Leicester win continuing their great form. I have got Vardy in my dream team, so he's getting me a lot of points at the moment. So I've gone for Crystal Palace 1, Leicester City 2 down at Selhurst Park. And then I've gone for Everton against Tottenham. I've gone for a very entertaining 2-2 draw. I think Marco Silva's got to. I think this could be his last game this week, unfortunately. Callum will be happy now. But yeah, I see 2-2. Tottenham, I think will nick a point here. I think Everton will be a game where they dominate, but I think Tottenham will nick a point from them because, again, I don't think Everton are very good at defending at the moment, and they're always leaving the door open to concede. So, those are my predictions for this week. Hopefully I can have another good week like I've been doing the last couple of weeks, but we'll wait and see. So this is Martin at Man City Man TV. Cheers, Andy.
Okay, thank you, Martin, for that. Now, over to mine. So, here we go. These are my predictions for this weekend's round, week 11 of games. So, starting off, AFC Bournemouth versus Manchester United. Well, Bournemouth currently lying 9th, played 10 and are on 13 points. Manchester United are a few places ahead of them in 7th, still on 13 points as well. Bournemouth's last 5 games, a win, a draw, a loss, a draw, and a draw. And with United, a loss, a draw, and a win last week for them. So I'm going to go for a tight one. And I'm going to go for Bournemouth to at least score 1 and maybe United nick a draw on the road all the way down at Bournemouth. So I'm going to go for Bournemouth 1, Manchester United 1. Moving through to Arsenal at home to Wolves. Well, Arsenal currently lie in 5th, played 10 and are on 16 points in their last 5 games. A win, a draw, a win, a loss and a draw. So I can see Arsenal winning this, I really can. Wolves have not done too bad. They've moved themselves out of that bottom 3 and now in 12th, played 10 games on 12 points. And certainly their results have picked up a little bit. The last 5 games have been a draw, a win, a draw and a draw. So they've moved themselves out of that bottom 3 and sort of midway in the table. But I'm still going for Arsenal to be just a little bit too tough for them. I'm going for Arsenal 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. And on to Aston Villa, who City beat last weekend. They're at home to Liverpool. As we know, Liverpool currently reside at the top of the table on 28 points. Their last 5 have been a win, a draw, and another win last week. When we're looking at Aston Villa are down in 15th. After a couple of good wins, then obviously a loss. Their last 5 is a loss, a draw, a win, and then a defeat to Man City last weekend. They're down in 15th on 11 points. But I think Liverpool are too strong, even though a lot of the kids played last night. I still think it's going to be a pretty comfortable win for Liverpool. So I'm going Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 3. Brighton Hove Albion take on Norwich. Well, Brighton of late have been a little bit inconsistent, but again, another team that have jumped out of that bottom 3. They're in 14th, played 10 on 12 points. The last 5 games have been a draw, a loss, a win, a loss, and another good win last week. And Norwich, well, they've gone from pretty decent start, and they're just in free fall, down in 19th, played 10, only 7 points. And their last 5 games read horrendously. A loss, a draw, and another loss. And it seems to all have gone totally wrong for Norwich. So I think Brighton are going to be too strong for Norwich. I think it'll be a tight game, but I'm going to go for Brighton 2, Norwich 1. On to our 3 o'clock kickoff. Manchester City versus Southampton on Saturday. 2 games in a week versus Southampton. I think we'll probably see a slightly stronger team from Southampton, but you'll see all the big guns coming back for this one. I've no doubt about that whatsoever. You'll see the likes of Sterling back and Kevin De Bruyne, in particular Fernandinho. So I'm going to go for a very, very comfortable win. I don't think it'll be as frustrating as it was the other night in parts. I think City will come out absolutely flying. I can see Raz getting on the score sheet again. I still think after Aguero and Jesus scored the other night, I think Aguero will keep his place and maybe we'll get Bernardo Silva back on the right-hand side of a front 3. And I'm going for a very comfortable Manchester City 5, Southampton 0. On to Sheffield United versus Burnley. I think this is going to be a very, very tight game. As we know, I've said it all the time, Sheffield United are currently in 8th and on 13 points, bit in and out last five, a win, a loss, a draw, a win and a draw. But they're doing really, really well to be in that top 8. Very, very good defensively. Burnley, I've suddenly... the wheels have come off. Their last 5 games, a win, a draw, a win, and 2 losses on the bounce. So they're down in 13th on 12 points. But I still think this will be a tight game. And I'm going to go for a very close Sheffield United 1, Burnley 1. West Ham take on Newcastle next. West Ham is one of the teams that I really thought would have done well this year. They're not too bad. They're in 10th. It's probably a position that I think most West Ham fans would say is realistic. They've played 10. They're on 13 points. And after a couple of losses, they managed to get a draw last week. All the while, we've got Newcastle United plummeting. And they're down in 17th place, 1 point above the drop zone on 9 points. Their last 5 games have been a draw, a loss, a win, a loss and another draw. But for me, I think West Ham at home are going to be just a little bit too strong for them. So I'm going to go for West Ham 2, Newcastle United 1. On to Watford versus Chelsea. Well, we saw a wonderful sort of entertaining game, Carabao Cup game last night, with Chelsea playing all the kids, and it's working out very well for Frank Lampard. Chelsea currently residing 4th in the table. After 10 games, they're on 20 points. And if you look at their last 5 games, they're on a brilliant run at the moment. After a loss 5 games ago, the last 4 have been win, 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 and win. And so I think he's doing a wonderful job with those kids. Watford, on the other hand, well, if we take and have a look at their sort of last 5 games, they've sort of, I don't know whether they've steadied the ship, but they still reside at bottom of the table on 5 points. And after 2 losses, they've had 3 draws consecutively. But I still think for this particular game, after the exertions of the kids last night, I think Watford might pick up a point here. So I'm going to go for a plucky draw for Watford, and that'll be 1-1 versus Chelsea. Crystal Palace versus Leicester. Well, Crystal Palace are flying high, so are Leicester. Crystal Palace currently are in 6th place on 15 points. In a bit in and out of late, a draw, a win, a loss, and another draw. While Leicester currently are in 3rd, absolutely flying. And they're very consistent on 20 points. Their last 5 games have been a win, a loss, and then followed up by 2 wins on the bounce. So Leicester, very tricky customer. Crystal Palace, we know on their day, can be very good. They do have an advantage being at home, but I still think Leicester will have too much for them. And I'm going for Crystal Palace 1, Leicester 2. And the final game on Sunday evening, or Sunday afternoon, is Everton versus Tottenham Hotspur. So Everton down in 16th, only on 10 points after 10 games. Their last 5 has been a loss, a win, and another loss last week. While Spurs are sort of currently residing mid-table in 11th on 12 points. Again, very much in and out on the previous 5 games. Loss, a win, a loss, a draw, and a loss. Well, I've got a funny feeling. I'm sure Cal on the channel will be very pleased with this one, but I've got a funny feeling Everton are going to sneak this. I think it's going to be a very tight game, possibly even Spurs taking the lead and Everton coming back and maybe getting a last-minute winner or something. I'm going to go positive for the Evertonians here. I'm going to go Everton 2, Tottenham 1. So that's my predictions, and obviously all the other guys have given you their predictions. Don't forget, give us yours below this particular video. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to take a look at the current standings in the Discord Premier League table. Okay, so this is the Discord table as it stands right now before this next round of games, week 11. So thank you, Ryan, for looking after the Premier League predictions on our Discord channel. And remember, if you're not already on there, go across. It's Man City Fan TV on Discord. So Kiam, Man City Fan TV's Kiam is flying at the moment on 43 points. In second, we've got Baron's House on 39. Ryan, that's me, Ryan. He's on 38. Martin on 33. So I've got 2 in the top 4 there. Man City Fan TV presenters. I'm letting the side down here. 5th is Section 20. He's on 30. Callum is in 6th on 28. Bernard Deneen's on the same score in 7th. I'm sort of in the 8th. I'm letting the side down here on 27. Sargent is on 27 in 9th. 10th is Ethan Aspinall on 26. 11th is Gory Metz on 25. Dank City Big Forehead is in 12th on 18. We've got 13th Alex on 16. Mingyi Wong is on 14 points in 14th. Darren in 15th place on 9. Ashkith is on 6 points. They're having a nightmare, having an absolute shocker in 16th. 17th, Daniel De Bruyne clearly doesn't, his predictions aren't like anything the way Kevin plays. He's on 6 and wow, 18th place, True Blue 1972 on 4 points, holding up the bottom of the table. So, wow, very close between, let's call it 11th, Gory Metz on 25, 18 points up to Kiam. And there's quite a few of us there on 27, 28, 30. So it's all to play for. There's a long way to go. But Kiam currently resides at the top of the table for Man City Fan TV. So don't forget, go over there, get your predictions in. It's never too late. You'll be able to catch up very quickly if you've not joined before. But anyway, that's our predictions for game week 11 in the Premier League coming up this weekend. So don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, click subscribe to Man City Fan TV. Hit that bell icon, that way you'll be notified when all new videos come on the channel. And keep commenting. We're well over the 10,000 subscriber mark now, and we're pushing on for 15,000. I want to say thank you to everybody who's a contributor or who just contributes and comments on the channel. It's absolutely brilliant, and we couldn't do it without you. So, guys, we'll see you at the Southampton game. Come over and have a chat with us where we normally are outside the main entrance in the Blue Moon Cafe. This is Andy from Man City Fan TV. Take care. We'll see you soon.